You're listening to the Cyberwire Network, powered by N2K.
The DMV has established itself as a top-tier player in the global cyber industry. DMV Rising is the premier event for cyber leaders and innovators to engage in meaningful discussions and celebrate the innovation happening in and around the Washington, D.C. area. Join us on Thursday, September 18th to connect with the leading minds shaping our field and experience firsthand why the Washington, D.C. region is the beating heart of cyber innovation. Visit dmvrising.com to secure your spot. Risk and compliance shouldn't slow your business down. Hyperproof helps you automate controls, integrate real-time risk workflows, and build a centralized system of trust so your teams can focus on growth, not spreadsheets. From faster audits to stronger stakeholder confidence, Hyperproof gives you the business advantage of smarter compliance. Visit www.hyperproof.io to see how leading teams are transforming their GRC programs. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CyberWire's Research Saturday. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is our weekly conversation with researchers and analysts tracking down the threats and vulnerabilities, solving some of the hard problems, and protecting ourselves in a rapidly evolving cyberspace. Thanks for joining us.
So we started to notice that there was an uptick in incidents that involved SonicWall devices. It actually started probably like a week or so before Arctic Wolf came out with their research.
That's Jamie Levy, Director of Adversary Tactics at Huntress. The research we're discussing today is titled Active Exploitation of SonicWall VPNs.
So as we started to notice that we had more and more incidents, we started to dig into it, and then we saw their research come out, and then we realized that, yes, it was probably a part of what was going on there.
Yeah, it's funny how that can happen sometimes, right? Somebody is independently on the same path, and you might not know it at the time.
Correct.
Yeah. So what tipped you off that this was not a routine vulnerability report, but there was something more active and urgent?
Well, we started to notice that there were a lot of incidents involving SonicWall devices. And so it looked as if maybe there was some kind of vulnerability involved just because we started to get so many more of these incidents involving that. And then other people were saying that they had it. And, we were talking to other researchers and other companies, and they were talking about how they had a lot of incidents involving this. And so we knew something was up with that. And it was also, we figured out that it was pretty much the same group. A lot of times these were ending up with Akira ransomware. And so since it was the same types of exploitation, we figured out that this group knew about this exploit and was leveraging it pretty heavily.
I see. Well, for our listeners who may not be deeply technical, can you explain to us what exactly this SonicWall VPN vulnerability is all about?
Yeah, so this particular vulnerability, um, the thing that was actually the biggest problem with it was that people had upgraded from a Generation 6 SonicWall device to a Generation 7, and they kept the same configs. And unfortunately, when they did this, it left their credentials still exposed. And so the attackers realized that they could leverage this and gain access, even though they thought that they were fully patched.
Oh, that's interesting. So, well, once the attackers had access, what were they able to do inside the compromised network?
So at that point, they would often gain access to other machines on the inside. So that could be credential stuffing, or reused passwords. Basically, they would gain access to various machines and then steal credentials on that side, do lateral movement, do exfiltration of data, and then ultimately they would deploy ransomware at the end. But yeah, pretty much they just came in, grabbed everything as quickly as they could, and then deployed ransomware as quickly as they could after that.
In terms of their targeting, does it strike you that it's opportunistic, or were they really focusing on certain industries or organizations?
It seemed to be all over the place. I mean, we saw all different industries being hit. So I think it was opportunistic, but I feel like it really ramped up even more after people were aware that this was happening. I mean, we saw blips of it. Like once we knew what was going on, we went back and looked at previous incidents, and we could see that there were incidents even as far back as May that seemed to fit the same pattern. Um, but it wasn't nearly as often. But as soon as Arctic Wolf's research went out, all of a sudden it was just like everything was on fire.
Hmm.
Everybody was getting hit by this. And I don't know if it's just probably the attackers realized like there's maybe a moment, where they're going to lose this type of access. And so they just
Right.
really started to ramp up.
Right. The clock is ticking, so
Hmm.
let's get while the getting's good. Interesting. We'll be right back.
Introducing the new Volvo XC90 with 7-seat versatility, Google built-in, and advanced safety features for all your precious cargo. The new Volvo XC90, designed for life. Visit volvocars.com/US to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. And when it comes to checking off coverage, a State Farm agent can help you choose an option that's right for you. Whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In terms of scale and scope here, I mean, how widespread do you believe this is?
That's a good question. So I feel like people still don't have like a good handle on this
Hmm.
because we're still seeing incidents involving SonicWall devices. And we did have one customer who came and they were hit but with a SonicWall vulnerability, but they said that their device what did not fit this criteria. It wasn't a Gen 6 to Gen 7 uproll. It basically was a device that I think it was a Fortinet device that had that they had installed Gen 7 SonicWall on, and it still got popped. And so
Hmm.
there are some questions about whether or not this vulnerability actually is what this underlying cause is.
Yeah. Is there any geographic concentration, or are they going after folks in a certain part of the world, or does it seem to all around is a global issue?
I believe it's a global issue, but if you just kind of scan to see like where most of these Sonic Wall devices are, I mean, overwhelmingly they're in the United States area, right? The North
Hmm.
American area, just by default. But yeah, I mean, like as far as our customer base, like we've seen them from all over getting popped.
I see. Now, did you all coordinate with SonicWall in terms of getting the vulnerability confirmed?
Yes, we did. We were in contact with them, and it basically we were trying to figure out what were the logs that we should pull. Was there anything else? We were also trying to help them figure out what the problem was because initially they weren't really sure. They did seem to think that it was CVE 2024 4766. They weren't really sure at the moment, and that was back when we spoke with them on Monday of last week,
Hmm.
August 4th. So one of the things that they had told us to do is if we had any more of these incidents come up to take a core dump, and then we could hand that off to them to get an idea of what was actually happening. So It seemed that the logs were a little bit lacking, but the core dumps were they basically had like the moment of truth in them that could actually help figure out what the problem was.
I see. And so where do we stand today? Have there been patches issued?
I think it's really just that they've given advice of making sure that you don't have the old configs if you had updated from Gen 6 to Gen 7 and to rotate creds. And if you're really unsure, just to try to keep the device offline. But yeah, like as far as I know, they haven't issued another patch for this.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. From a higher level, I mean, is it accurate to say that VPN appliances make attractive targets for attackers?
Oh yeah, I mean it seems very much so. I mean, SonicWall devices are not the only ones that we see getting hit by attackers. So just about every VPN device is basically ripe for the picking. Makes sense because once they gain access there, then they can gain access to things that are internal much easier.
Yeah. What are your recommendations then for organizations to better protect themselves against this sort of thing?
I mean, attack surface reduction as much as you can, making sure that you're up to date, using MFA, turning off or turning on like the brute force protection, all of that as much as you can just to try to reduce that attack surface.
And I suppose it's fair to say that we can expect VPNs to still have a target on their backs in the near future.
Yeah, definitely.
Our thanks to Jamie Levy from Huntress for joining us. The research is titled Active Exploitation of SonicWall VPNs. We'll have a link in the show notes. And that's Research Saturday, brought to you by N2K Cyberwire. We'd love to hear from you. We're conducting our annual audience survey to learn more about our listeners. We're collecting your insights through the end of this month. There's a link in the show notes. Please do check it out. This episode was produced by Liz Stokes. We're mixed by Elliot Peltzman and Trey Hester. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Peter Kilpie is our publisher, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here next time.
New season, new chaos in college football.
Let's go! Big stage, big opportunity.
This Labor Day weekend, the wildness lives on ABC, ESPN, and the all-new ESPN app.
What a way to start!
Featuring top 10 teams like Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama, and LSU, and Bill Belichick's debut at North Carolina.
It's so special when these teams collide.
Don't miss a lineup filled with electric matchups.
Welcome back to college football.
Kickoff week presented by Modelo. Labor Day weekend on ESPN and ABC. Also available to stream on the all-new ESPN app.